And I think he's been seen, calling fans out or calling one of the fans out anyway for saying chuck the game, chuck the game. I actually, if I was a Spurs fan, wouldn't mind it because I think it shows winning mentality, the ambition that he wants to win. So I want to see where you're at with it, Deji, with Ange Postecoglou and the reaction in the last 48 hours or so.
Yeah, Dan. Time to reflect. I mean, anyone who watched my watch along or my reaction after the game, I was very clear. For me, I played football. I didn't play pro or anything, but if you play any sport, you want to win, and if you can't win, you want to finish as high as possible. And whilst we had that game and we had Man City rattled in that first half, I wanted to get fourth or at least still been in the conversation. Whether we get fourth or not is another story, but we need to be in and about. I totally agree with Postecoglou. Why would you want to lose against lose so that your rivals don't win the league? I don't give a shit about Arsenal. I don't care. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what you're doing. You do what you got to do. We do what we got to do. For me, I wanted us to a bit of momentum as well. Sometimes if you end the season poor, that can kind of follow you. That kind of vibe, that kind of feeling. So you want to try and get a positive result, so that maybe you take that into the beginning of the new season, and maybe we're able to kick on and do slightly better. But I think where Postecoglou was coming from in terms of the mentality of the club, I think some of the Spurs fans, if I'm being brutally honest, they're just not understanding what he's trying to do. I had a conversation with a very funny character yesterday who just wants to criticise Postecoglou, criticise the board. But if you watch that first half, we played well. If you listen to Pep, who knows his stuff, he was saying, trust this geezer, because if you do, he could have you playing some good football. Yeah? And the thing is, what we saw in that first half is the difference between Spurs and Man City in particular was the fact that, one, obviously they've got high quality players, but they're playing a style of football that is now second nature. It's instinctive. They know where to go. They know how to move. We're not instinctive yet. So you can see that our players were hesitating in certain times. But over time, the instinctiveness will come into the game. And that's part of the reason why he was saying that set pieces weren't a priority. His main priority at the moment is get the boys understanding the style of play, dominating the game, moving the ball into the channels, into the spaces that he wants them to move it. And then you will see over time Spurs, this system that he wants to play, start to dominate a game. A good friend of mine was talking about the fact that when you watch City play, one of the advantages of being instinctive is that you use less energy. So you can see that the Man City players, they can keep doing it, and if it doesn't work, they're quite happy to go back to the keeper and then start again. We're not in that space yet because we've just started our journey. So let the guy cook, let him do his work, and things like you want to throw the game, you want to do this, you want to do that is a distraction. It's a distraction from the bigger picture. So no, I feel what Postecoglou was saying. It is a shame. I was joking about saying maybe Daniel Levy might have told him to throw the game, but it transpires people in the club were joking about maybe not winning the game, and he's probably thinking, "What? Do you know what I mean? Why would you make a joke like that? Why would you put someone who's literally worked from the ground up? Why would you put him in a position where people are going to question his integrity? That is just stupid. Why would you do that? So for me, I can understand Postecoglou's anger. I can understand him being slightly disappointed in the fan base. On one hand, we're criticizing him for not adapting. You could see he was adapting Van de Ven out on the left. And then you're saying you want to chuck a game because of our rivals. It just don't make no sense. So for me, I wanted to win. I wanted to get fourth or get as close to it as we can. And I agree. All I'm hoping for now is over the summer, the Spurs fans keep faith. They take their time. And Daniel Levy does what he needs to do and he backs our gaffer to bring in the right players for us to kick on. But, I keep saying, and people shout me down, it took Arteta 4 seasons, mate. Season 1, season 2, season 3, Arsenal fans were up in arms. But Edu showed faith, and now you guys are reaping the rewards. Whether you reap the rewards this season or not, you've shown progress, and that's something to be applauded. and that's all I want for my club is to show progress and to show that we can be at the table playing with the big boys. But some of that stuff, it was stupid, and some Spurs fans, Sava, aka Sava, the biggest negative guy I've ever seen in my life. He just wants us to be in the mud and to stay in the mud, and I'm not in agreement with that. And I think he said it in his press conferences before, is that he likes to finish off a job that he started. I don't think he's ever left the job halfway through. Usually, he's won trophies before he's left the club and then moved on. And I think for him, because of his pride and because of his history, he would want to or be aiming to at least win a trophy before making that next step. But yeah, I think Spurs are at risk. But I feel like Postecoglou, Lee said it right. He's quite happy. When he walked into Spurs, he said, "Look, this is a wonderful place, biggest team he's had the chance to play, work for, all the facilities, everything off the pitch. He's playing with, working with these, really good players, and the potential to bring in even world-class players. There's no reason for him to want to leave. He wants to be around. I think what he wants also is for us. He wants the fan base to think about the bigger picture. Let's not get our knickers in a twist on season one. He's just got here. He's finding his feet in the toughest league in the world, and he's also learning a lot about his players. Rest assured, he's already said it. He's identified players already that Spurs want to bring in this summer. He's confirmed that. He's also said there's going to be some tough decisions being made. He said there's going to be good players. They're good players as individuals, but maybe they just don't quite fit his system, and they have to go. So he's ready to do whatever is needed to get the team to move on. And there's been criticism of him talking about the fact that he reckons we're going to be in a title race, this and that. The thing is, he wants success. He wants to bring success to Spurs, and bloody hell, if he brings success to Spurs, he deserves whatever move next. He'll deserve the Liverpool job. He'll deserve the Real Madrid job. Do you know what I mean? He would deserve the Man City job because he's brought success to my club. So, yeah, I don't think he goes because of integrity. I think he wants to finish it off, but definitely, at least we minimum. I expect Postecoglou to do at least 3 seasons at Spurs at least. Fight smells the fire, and if he is a bit spiky with the fan base, I like a manager with a bit of personality. Conte had personality. Conte was cussing the whole club. Do you know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, what you want to do is you want to see success. But for me, success is not sacking a manager every bloody 2 years. We're not going to move on. We're always going to be starting again. So we might as well give this guy time and see what happens.
Chance for us, bro. What are you saying?
Yeah. So look, let's be real. I mean, and I say it because some Arsenal fans and League Ghana in particular, North Side will say if Arsenal don't win the league this season, Arteta should be gone, and I totally disagree. There's something about maybe you haven't won enough trophies, but are you showing progress? You are. If you're showing progress, if you're showing constant improvement, then that has to be applauded. Arsenal right now is legitimately a title winning team. It pains me to say it, but you're a bloody fantastic team. Goals scored defensively. You can hardly put a foot wrong. Only a numpty would say, anything otherwise than that. Arsenal are looking good, and it could be dangerous. The only thing for me that is slightly worrying, and people say, "Oh, you started again," is to finish second 2 seasons in a row. That's quite draining because the players will be thinking to themselves, "What more have we got to do to get it over the line?" And even for a manager, it can be quite draining. The issue Spurs had, we got to the Champions League final and we were drained from that. And that's why we had a slow start. Pochettino was drained, players were drained, we had a slow start, and I think Levy was a bit trigger happy in getting rid of him so quickly. The question I have is, can Arsenal, if you don't win the league this season, can you find enough energy in the players? Can you find enough motivation in Arteta mentally, because there's mental fatigue, to go and to do another run? That's the bit that if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be afraid of. Have you got enough in the tank to do it? Because it takes a lot of mental power, physical power, do you know what I mean? Stamina to do 38 games. So I'm not sure. I think Arsenal need to win the league this season to really cement, because that will just be like, yep, we've done it, we can do it. That will be the drive. Man City will do what they do, and Arsenal, Man City can battle it out, because I don't think Liverpool will be there. But I am worried for Arsenal. I am worried because this could be it. We could see a drop off next season. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's you buy a striker and you be up there. You might find that the boys lose form, and then all of a sudden, Arsenal are languishing around 4th, 5th in the league, simply because, you know, mental fatigue has crept in. Remember, we got the Euros in the summer as well. All of that is going to have a part to play. And maybe you guys just don't hit the ground running the same way. So this is the best time. You know, I said that on another show, I said, Carpe diem, seize the day. Your day is now. If you leave it till tomorrow, tomorrow might never come. And that's my advice to the Arsenal fan base.
He speaks a lot of sense there. A lot of sense.
Yes, man. I can't lie. And listen, I'm a fan of Deji. I know he don't always talk sense, and he can be
but
he's a Spurs fan. He was very sensible tonight, which is good, man. Big up to Deji. Make sure you go follow Deji Spurs, yeah, because he started his own channel now, and it's really good content, and he's flying. So make sure you head over to Deji Spurs.